Alright, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever time of day this video finds you. It's your boy Jay. We got the patch notes for Title Update 2 already. This was way sooner than I thought that we would have them. I thought we would have them maybe like Sunday night, but no, same day. So boom, we're here recording again. I brought out the big ass fat purple mouse so y'all can see what I'm highlighting and clicking while I talk. And yeah, so we got some pretty meaty patch notes when it comes to weapon changes, but I want to go over a few things, right? So right now we're overwhelmingly negative on Steam. Speaking of, but so we got some stuff here. So you know, more DLSS and FSR support is coming, right? And these require like, you know, NASA PCs, right? If you got RTX 5000 or AMD Radeon 9000, right? So that's this. But there's also, let's see, upscaling and frame generation settings and graphics settings have been separated. So frame generation can now be set regardless of the upscaling setting. So now this NVIDIA, you know, 3000 hardware, like, oh, okay, this is in my PC right now, but I choose not to play this game on PC. But hopefully all of this will help the game run better for those of us that have chosen PC as our preferred platform. You know what I'm saying? And there's another one of these later that we're going to talk about. Actually, I might as well scroll. I think I'm going to scroll down to it because it's the same kind of. Oh, there it is. Boom. Here we go. So even more. Look at this. Steam adjusted the amount of VRAM used with texture streaming, resulted in reduced overall VRAM usage. Fixed an issue where estimated VRAM usage was calculated lower than actual value. So VRAM will appear higher, but thanks to separate optimization, actual VRAM usage has been reduced. So the current minimum and recommended system requirements remain unchanged. Interesting. So they did some optimization, so maybe you need less VRAM to run it. Okay. And then fixed an issue where VRAM usage displayed incorrect values for distant shadow quality option and graphic settings. So it sounds like, hey, we're working on the PC thing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are under the oh my god, what is the word? I'm under the assumption that PC is fucked. They're never gonna fix it, right? But here we are, yo, we're adjusting the VRAM stuff, and before we talked about the DLS stuff and the DLSS stuff and the FSR frame generation stuff. So hopefully our PC brothers will have a better time playing this game. So there's that off the rip. Like I said, I really hope, like, this is probably the biggest point in why the game has reached overwhelmingly negative on Steam, because of all of this. You know what I'm saying? So if it ran better, would the quote-unquote lack of content be more tolerated? It's possible. It's possible. So we'll see how it runs come Monday, because that's when all of this is hitting, right? So there's a whole, this is a juicy patch, guys. So all of this is here, right? Now I'm going to scroll down to boom, player, and we're going to read these. So in general, you now regain control of your character slightly faster after starting a quest. That's cool. Player gathering actions have been adjusted to be more responsive overall, particularly while riding Sacred. Nice. Crouch movement now benefits from faster recovery time for the bleeding status effect. This is interesting, given who is showing up, right? We got some regulars coming in, so they're like, yo, we got to make sure that the bleeding stuff works the way it should. Makes sense. Fixed an issue where Slick Blade would not disappear when entering or exiting the training arena. That sucks if you're trying to test something. Fixed an issue where players could have multiple types of large barrel bombs in their item pouch if they retrieved a previously placed large barrel bomb while in possession of a blossom barrel bomb. Interesting. Fixed an issue where if the dash control had been switched to a single press, then dashing from a crouched position would result in the character starting a run motion instead of a dash when standing up. Interesting. Okay. Fixed an issue where web state would not be properly removed by Pure Wasp delivery, and other minor fixes and related adjustments have been made for all weapon actions. So, I mean, they're in here cooking, you know, they're in here cooking, trying to make the game better, you know, little stuff here and there for general, right? And then we get into the actual weapon balances. Okay, so we're gonna start with sword and shield. Shield attack, shield bash, and hard bash raw damage and stun values have been slightly increased. Nice. Hammer bro like me, I'm always looking for a way to KO. I like this. Perfect Rush's finishing portion has had its raw damage slightly increased. Nice. Adjusted it to make it harder to consecutively chain the guard slash move into itself. Interesting. Okay, I don't use a lot of guard slash myself, so let me know in the comments down below how you guys are feeling about this, especially my sword and shield guys. Slightly increase the evade window for sliding swipe. Ooh, I like that. I like this move. That's the move where you slide like on the ground. I like that. Let's see. Chop and side slash raw damage have been slightly decreased. Interesting. Oh, is this the move where you use it in tandem with the corrupted mantle, right? Where you chop and side slash over and over and over again. I think that's what they're doing. They're kind of nerfing that little method of play. Okay. Counter slash raw damage has been decreased. And then fixed an issue where focus strikes could be unintentionally performed on the same wounds more than once on certain monsters. Interesting. I think this is I think I've had this bug happen to me one time in the open beta, where like you could do a focus strike on a wound and it wouldn't pop, so you could just do it over and over and over and over and over and over again. I think that's what this is. Cool. All right, nice changes for Sword and Shield. Nothing too crazy. Dual Blades were mentioned by name prior to now, and oh my goodness gracious, this is long. So let's see. You can now change your movement direction mid-movement when entering demon mode right after a dodge. Interesting, so more micro adjustments, okay. While in demon boost mode, during demon mode, chaining a dodge into Blade Dance now chains into Blade Dance 2 instead. However, this will default to a Blade Dance 1 if there's not enough demon gauge left. Very interesting, okay. Blade Dance 2's responsiveness has been improved. Ooh, okay, nice. Movement speed during demon mode has been increased. Damn, we zooming? Okay, what's up? Basic moves like 6-fold demon slash, demon flurry rush, and demon flurry have had their raw damage increase. Nice. Okay, cool. So not as dependent on element like usual with the dual blades. Screw slicer raw damage, elemental scaling, and ailment scaling have been greatly increased. Oh, okay, nice, nice. Man, this just got buffed. I wish I remembered like all of the names for all of the moves, but I just don't. So let me know in the comments down below which one is Screw Slicer. Let me think. Anyway, Focus Strike Turning Tide, raw damage has been increased. Nice, nice. More damage during the Captain Levi joint. Let's get it. Heavenly Blade Dance raw damage has been increased. Okay. Blade Dance elemental scaling and ailment scaling have been slightly decreased, and raw damage has been increased. Okay, for Blade Dance. Okay, cool. This is Blade Dance 1, I suppose. Okay. The raw damage boost from Demon Boost mode has been slightly decreased, and the elemental scaling boost has been increased. Oh, we're leaning more into the element. So, hold on. Let me think. So, basic moves have higher raw. Oh, okay. So, Demon Boost mode. So, when you get the bar all the way up, I guess you gain more elemental rather than raw. Interesting. Okay. Fixed an issue where Power Prolonger skill was making the duration of Demon Boost mode buffs last longer than intended. A nerf to Power Prolonger on dual blades. Okay, I guess it's a little less worth it now. That's interesting. But I mean, as a weapon skill, I mean, how many of us are really carrying Power Prolonger? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Fixed an issue where the camera would shake unintentionally during demon mode. Okay, cool. Wow, this is a lot. This is a lot. All of these things can stack up to make demon blades. I almost called them demon blades. That's crazy. Dual blades feel a whole lot different than it used to, and maybe it's more effective in what it's trying to do. This is interesting because like we got elemental scaling boost increase, but we also have raw damage increase. So I think it's just a straight buff for the most part. But yeah, I'm excited to see what this feels like. I will be using dual blades to take down Arch-Tempered Uthuna. I've mentioned it as such in a previous video, so yeah, let's do it. Alright, Longsword. Elemental scaling for Crimson Slash 2 has been significantly increased. Nice. Raw damage and elemental ailment scaling for Crimson Slash 3 has been increased. Okay, Crimson Slash 3 now chains faster into Spirit Blade 1. Okay. Okay. Damn, so you could I think this is the triangle move where you keep tapping triangle, and then when you get to the end of Crimson Slash 3, you could just go right into Spirit Blade 1. Okay. Spirit Release slash raw damage has been slightly increased. Spirit Round slash raw damage has been increased when the spirit gauge is red. Interesting. Spinning Crimson slash raw damage has been increased. Yai Spirit slash raw damage has been increased when the spirit gauge is white and yellow. Interesting, so it's going to stay the same for red. And then Elemental Ailment scaling for Crimson slash 1 has been decreased. I think this is a part of trying to get away from the spammy meta where you do Crimson slash 1 into Spirit slash 1 over and over and over and over again. I'm thinking they're nerfing this and buffing everything else so that that's not the way we intended for you to play Longsword. Play with more of the moveset rather than just doing the Crimson slash 1 to Spirit slash 1. You know what I'm saying? At least that's what I think they're trying to say. Like I said, I don't have all of the names for all of the moves memorized, so let me know in the comments below if I'm correct in this. All right, now moving on to a weapon I know and love very much. Hammer. You can now chain into a special follow-up move after a monster has been significantly staggered from a successful offset attack. And oh my god, it looks so juicy. They showed it a little bit during the presentation. Ooh, I can't wait to see. But they turned off the numbers, so we don't know how strong it is. So I'm very excited to land this, okay? You can now chain from a focus blow earthquake into a charged side blow. Charged side blow. Which one is... Oh, okay. So you can land a focus strike and then the quick R2 move, right? Like just like where you tap it and let it go, you can bow right into it. Okay, cool. Offset effects have been added to charged upswing and mighty charge upswing. This, oh my god, this is good. This is good stuff. Now, this is going to be much easier to land than the regular offset that we have, but this is still going to require some finesse, right? Because mighty charge is the go-to, right? So maybe we're all going to take focus off of our sets, right? Because everyone, I mean, a lot of people should be running focus right now to get to mighty charge, not upswing, but like the actual slam, the big one, right? Maybe you take it off so that you have more time in the level 2 so that you can land more of these offsets. And then mighty charge upswing. At first glance, I'm like, not a lot of people are going to be using this to land offsets. But now that I think about it, let's say you're charging and you go past charged upswing and then you get to level 3, but now you have access to mighty charge upswing as the offset as well. So you can just tap triangle and circle on a PlayStation controller and then quickly let it go to land an offset as well, which is much more reactive than the 1, 2, hold on to it, then 3. Interesting. Very good. I like this. See, look, even now, charge levels now increase faster after chaining into a charge step from a dodge. Charge level will increase faster after chaining into a charge. Oh, okay, so if you roll, then do a charge step, your charge levels will increase faster. Interesting. Okay, I thought they were saying charge levels in general go fast. I was like, damn, that's going to make this even harder to land, but never mind. Charge Big Bang raw damage has been increased. Love to see that. Even more so? Because we just got buffs. Interesting. Mighty Charge Slam raw damage and elemental scaling have been increased. Really? The hitboxes for certain attacks such as Big Bang have been adjusted. Please make them bigger. I hate missing when I feel like I shouldn't miss. And then fixed an issue where the damage display would appear twice for Big Bang 4? Yeah, 1 before 5. 4. Interesting. Okay, so maybe... Charge Big Bang raw damage has been increased and Mighty Charge Slam raw damage. Maybe we're going to do another video comparing the damage between these two. Because I still have the old footage from before we got our first set of buffs. So maybe we do a 1, 2, and 3 using the same equipment to see how much buff we got. Because it doesn't say here, it just says it's been increased. It doesn't say by what percent, by how much, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, all right. That's enough about the hammer. Can you tell I'm biased? I really love hammer. Anyway, Hunting Horn. Love me some Hunting Horn. Shout out Uno Hunter. Shout out K Plays, man. Shout out my guys. Let me know how y'all feel about this in the comment section down below. Here we go. Performing Focus Strike reverb with precise timing now plays an additional note at the end of the attack. Love that. Performing Focus Strike Reverb with precise timing now sets an echo bubble at the end of the attack. You can prevent echo bubble by holding R2 at the end of the action. This is huge. This is huge. Cause like Focus Strike was a decent opening where you can play almost 2 songs depending on how long the songs you're trying to play are, but now you can drop an echo bubble with it too. That is huge, bro. That is wow. I like that. Let's see. Hitting a monster with a single hit of resounding melody now triggers a sound wave. Okay. With a single hit of resounding melody. Okay. Your sacred no longer stops when performing while mounted. Hey, we back. Okay. The damage hitbox for Echo Bubble has been significantly increased. So the bubble itself is bigger? Damn, Echo Bubble's getting super buffed. Okay. The evade window for offset melody has been increased. Nice. Fixed an issue where switching from one horn to another would incorrectly display melodies that had not been played as an encore. Ooh, I don't think I've ever seen that issue. Me personally. Fixed an issue where connecting with an offset melody would sometimes fail to successfully offset attacks. I think I have had this before. I thought it was just me being ass and I was just jawning like, hey, I feel like I landed that, but I didn't land it. Okay, cool. Fixed an issue where stock notes would not properly reset when chaining into a special performance. Very interesting. Okay. Yeah, this looks like a huge Echo Bubble buff. Because like in between this and this, oh, buddy, I cannot wait to see what this feels like. And hopefully some of the new horns we get have, really interesting echo bubbles, maybe even unique echo bubbles that we haven't seen in the game yet. Ooh, maybe Warconga gets knocked off of its throne for its echo bubble because, man, these sound like Warconga buffs because of Warconga's echo bubbles. But hey, I'm gonna let K Plays tell you about all that. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Lance. All right, let's see. You can now chain into a charge counter from Focus Strike Victory Thrust. Okay, adjusted the hitbox of Focus Strike Victory Thrust to make it easier to land. Okay, and then fixed an issue where certain shield attacks during Focus Strike Resolve could unintentionally break monster wounds. Very interesting. Okay, Nova Bushido, tell me how you feeling about this, my guy. Tell me how you feeling about this. I know you're feeling kind of nice on the patch. You're like, hey, they kind of cooked. Hey, did they cook with this too, my guy? Let me know. Gunlance, fixed an issue where a critical hit occurs during multiple hits of certain actions, such as multi-Wyvern Stake Full Blast. There was an unintended high chance that subsequent hits would also be critical hits. Damn. So I guess we're landing less crits. Alright, Switchaxe. Good Lord have mercy. Look at Switchaxe. Okay. It is now easier to adjust your distance to monsters when using Unbridled Slash and Full Release Slash while in focus mode. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Okay. Backward movement triggered by Elemental Discharge Finisher can now be reduced slightly by tilting the left stick in the player character's direction. Wow. Okay. Significantly increased the elemental scaling of follow-up explosions from sword attacks when using element files. Significantly increased. Okay, the elemental scale. Okay, so element files, we up. Okay, so charge the sword and then, start swinging that bad boy, more damage from element files. Okay. Significantly increase the elemental scaling of follow-up explosions from Unbridled Slash, Full Release Slash, and Axe follow-up Morph Slash when using elemental files. Okay. More elemental file buffs. Axe. Follow-up Heavy Slam and Axe. Follow-up Morph Slash raw damage has been increased. Okay, so we're buffing the Axe mode. Like that. Okay. The amount of switch gauge recovered when performing basic attack in Axe mode has been increased. Wow, really? Increased the raw damage and amp gauge recovery of Axe Morph, rising double slash, and reduced its switch gauge consumption. Okay. Sword. Triple slash raw damage and amp gauge recovery amount has been increased. Okay. The amount of switch gauge consumed when performing sword overhead slash has been decreased. Fixed an issue where the damage scaling from Rapid Morph skill was not being applied to jumping morphing slash performed upon landing. Okay, all of these things, a lot of these things, let me not say all, a lot of these things sound like the meter is going to move more you're gonna charge up faster, and you're gonna be able to spend more time in sword mode just because the axe will be able to charge up the gauge more. But also, during the time when you don't have sword mode ready, you're gonna be stronger in axe mode as well. This is there's a lot going on here, and like it. I'm still like digesting all of this. I didn't pre-read all of these patch notes. Interesting. And so less gauge consumed here in sword mode, but damage increased, and then raw damage and amp gauge recovery of interesting. Yeah, it just seems like managing the gauge got easier, and you'll be able to spend more time in whatever mode you want, and it's both more worth it for both gauges, you know, because and then more damage from element files in general. Very interesting. Okay, very interesting. I kind of want to play this and get a feel for this. Anyway, moving on. Charge Blade. Oh my god, Charge Blade. Holy Charge Blade. Okay. Whew. Okay, guard points now have perfect guard detection, and you can chain into Savage Axe Slash upon a successful perfect guard from a guard point. This is massive. I saw this all over Twitter all night before I could sit down and make this video. This, y'all eating good. Y'all eating good. If you're very good at guard points, this is massive. This is massive. Before we read anything else, that's massive. Anyway, explosive file raw damage from chaining into super amped elemental discharge from certain attacks, such as amped elemental discharge, has been increased. Okay, cool. More file damage. Raw damage for AED and SAED has been increased. More file damage. Love that. Weak slash, return stroke, shield thrust, raw damage have been slightly increased. Okay, cool. So all of this sounds like buffing the SAED playstyle so far, right? Like, this buffs Savage Axe because you can get to Savage Axe quicker. But this buffs the whole weapon in general. It's because there are so many things you could do after this point, now that it's a perfect guard. But all of these three so far, we're buffing SAED. Explosive file, raw damage for Axe Element Discharge, Axe Amped Element Discharge, and Axe Super Element. Okay, we're buffing SAED. Okay. Impact file explosion raw damage has been increased while in sword boost mode. Really? Sword boost mode buffs. Nice, let's go. Okay. Axe Elemental Discharge now chains more quickly into other basic axe moves like Axe Dash Slam or Axe Lateral Fade Slash. The raw damage for multi-hit attacks while in Power Axe mode has been ooh, okay, we're nerfing Savage Axe, buffing SAED. Okay, so we're bringing the two play styles closer together, right? Because it kind of felt like Power Axe mode or Savage Axe. Wait, multi-hit Power Axe, Savage Axe. Is that? And I may have already read this wrong, but whatever. But it kind of feels like we're closing the gap between Savage Axe and SAED, right? The two big play styles for Charge Blade. It feels like we're closing the gap between them, which is nice, right? More options, love that. Fixed an issue where the file explosion damage boost would not be applied when performing Elemental Discharge 1 or similar attacks with Impact File while files were enhanced. Wow. Okay. Fixed an issue where sharpness would decrease more than normal when performing a guard point while Elemental Boost was activated. Fixed an issue where damage scaling from Rapid Morph skill was being incorrectly applied to certain jumping attacks in Axe mode. Okay, yeah. So all of this sounds like SAD buffed, and maybe, actually, I think they're just going to leave Savage Axe as good as it is, but just kind of bring SAD closer to it, which is great. I'm with it. Heavy bowgun. Increase the amount of rapid fire gauge recovered when firing spread 1 and 2. Okay. Fixed an issue where it was difficult to evade after firing slicing. Okay. Fixed an issue where the burst skill would activate with fewer hits than intended when using cluster bombs or wyvern blast ignition. Alright. Let's see. Bowguns. Fixed an issue where the skill airborne would not activate correctly for spread ammo. That's very interesting, but cool. Great. fixing issues. Fixed an issue where bow coatings would unintentionally switch to unequip under certain conditions. Okay, cool. So those are the weapon changes. Damn, looks like Greatsword got nothing, right? Greatsword is not brought up here at all. Who else is left out of this? We got Hammer, we got Hunting Horn. Light bow gun, not really mentioned here as well. Well, I mean, this is bow guns. Okay. But everything else got touched a little bit, right? DBs, sword and shield. Yeah, Greatsword. I guess they just like where Greatsword's at. Okay, cool. And then the support hunters, sacred. Okay, cool. And then, yeah, just regular stuff. But for the most part, that's the important stuff. The way your weapons feel. But this is a meaty patch. I mean, you can just see there's so much more down here. But I mean, if I were to read it all word for word, bar for bar, we would be here all damn day. This video is already 25 minutes long, but I just wanted to get into the weapon changes and talk a little bit about performance and bug fixes are here a little bit. You know what I'm saying, with the Steam stuff. So yeah, that's gonna be about it for today's video. Which part of these patch notes are you most excited to try out? Did your weapon get a lot of buffs, get a lot of nerfs? Let me know in the comment section down below. I do plan on replying to each and every comment that hits this video. And as always, people, happy hunting. Peace.